Hello, welcome back to Tactical Tuesday with Johnny Tiger on July 6th, 2021. As more and more places are easing restrictions, mostly in the UK and US, and lately here in Canada, we are starting to be allowed to partner up and do some really fun stuff in the studio and dojos again. I think this is a good time to make this video because while it is fun, it is definitely a lot of fun to train with another person to actually get in there and kick and punch and grapple and get into the real meat and potatoes of combat sports, martial arts, self-defense, whatever you're practicing. It's a lot of fun, it's very exciting, but there are some basic rules, some basic etiquette that unfortunately, quite often, they are left unsaid, unmentioned, and uh, just left out of your training. I mean, when you first joined the program, I think most of you would have been told, please leave your ego at the door and be respectful. But that's usually about it. That usually is the extent of what you are told to do as a new person first starting to train in a physical exercise, physical environment with another human being, especially when you're throwing punches, throwing kicks, throwing elbows and knees, and trying to get each other in very awkward, homophobic positions. There are way more that I think most people can benefit from if they know what is expected of them when they walk through that door. So today I'm going to give you the bare bone of the very basic 9 simple things you can do to improve training experience for yourself and your training partners. Now, before we start, of course, respect, big thing. Leave your ego at the door, as mentioned, big thing. But another big thing that sometimes some people don't know if it's encouraged or not is communication. We often hear communication being the ultimate cure for relationship problem. And no matter if we believe in that or not, communication is vitally important when you're training in a group with people so intimately that you are having constant physical contact with each other. In other words, before you start working with your partners, you want to communicate. I'm a little bit sore. I have a sore knee today, so please be careful. Okay? Do not take me down to the ground. My back hurts. Do you have any injury that you want to let me know? How are you feeling? How are you feeling today? Okay? Everything okay? Okay? Am I hitting you too hard? Am I doing this correctly? Uh, do you have any feedback for me? Use your words to communicate. This is so important, especially for those of us who are training as people who have a visual impairment or other kind of uh, infirmities or disabilities that make training already a little bit more challenging for us. So good communication goes a long way with your partners and with your instructor. I know that a lot of Asian, especially Asian martial arts, the instructor like to put on this no nonsense attitude. I say jump, you ask how high. You do not communicate with me. I tell you what I want, you get it done. And there are a lot of trainers, a lot of coaches. that might be retired military. A lot of times they say they were retired military, but they actually aren't. They like to put on that air. I tell you to do 100 push-ups, and you will get down and do 100 push-ups. No, okay? No. Don't forget, we live in a time that we are not in the ancient monastery in Japan. We are not in an ancient monastery in China. Uh, you're not here. Your instructor, your sensei. You're not beholden to them. You don't owe them anything. They're not your boss. In fact, I'm an instructor. If you are my student, you are my boss. I'm here to do the best I can to teach you. So yes, I'm going to say do 100 push-ups, and I would like to think that you trust me enough to know that I have your best intention for you, and you will try to do the 100 push-ups. But if you have a heart problem, if you have a shoulder problem, I don't know that. You need to let me know. If you have things like asthma or other kind of condition that might get triggered by a certain activity, like doing burpees or too much running, you need to let me know because those are things that I do not know about. And just because you might have mentioned it when we first met, doesn't mean that I will always remember it. So when your instructor tell you to do something, when your partners tell you to do something, if you are unsure, open your mouth. If you object, open your mouth. If you totally disagree, it is your right to walk out of that door and stop payment on your credit card. You are the customer, you are the consumer, you are the one who's in charge of your well-being. Now, walking into the studio, you come to me to learn how to be a badass. Well, some people do. Some people just want to get stay fit. That's fine. Okay, so let's say you come to me, want to be a badass. It is my job to make it your training very, very tough so you can become that badass. But if during that training you suddenly decide you want to change your mind, you need to let me know. Otherwise, I will keep on the course you set me on in the beginning because that is me doing my job. So please, communication, very important. That ranks beyond the nine little uh, uh, golden rules that I'm going to give you guys today. Communication, above, beyond everything. First, let's talk about basics, things that you should take care of or have a handle on before you even start training. There's four of them, the four preemptive training rules. Number one, hygiene. Now, this may sound very obvious, but you'll be surprised how many people fail to understand. You are in a confined space, a small, relatively small area, like this room, with three or four bodies that will be sweating, grunting, clinching each other, grabbing each other, punching each other. There's going to be sweat. There's going to be blood sometime. There's going to be spit flying around, snot. If you're thinking, "Ooh, that sounds so disgusting," how can that be that bad? Well, if you ever get into a situation where you are trying so hard to choke each other out and you're pummeling each other on the head and in the face, or you're trying to struggle out of someone's grip when someone's got their arm locked around your neck, you know what I mean. You're going to have spittle and snot running out of you, and sometimes tears. Okay, it just cannot be avoided. So keeping all that in mind, hygiene, your hygienic routine is very important. Chew gums, breath mint, whatever before class, Make sure that if you know you got a martial art class coming up, don't eat a can of sardine or don't eat a raw onion for lunch. Your partners, they do not deserve to have to put up with that. And make sure your clothes are clean. You got to respect your uniform and whatever clothes and gear to train in. I have known people, and this is no joke, I have known people, they keep themselves really clean, no bad breath, always put on nice cologne. But when you train with them, they smell so foul that just them moving their arm, just their glove moving forward, like passing your face, make you want to throw up. Why? Because when they get home from their training, they take off their gloves, their sweaty hand wrap, their sweaty helmet, and they take off their jock strap, and then they throw everything into their gym bag, and then they don't see those gear again until next training. Those things never get cleaned. Those things never get uh, bleached or deodorized. So even though they themselves are clean, their gear, when they put on their helmet, when they put on their gloves, that smell like uh, dirty socks wrapped around a block of cheese and being left in the sun for a week. It's purely disgusting. So no one like to train with someone who smell bad. No one like to train with someone who might have uh, bad habit with their hygiene. Right? No one likes to train with someone. I have to think, oh my God, he smells so dirty. Am I going to catch some disease? So please, if you are training in martial art, or if you are training with partners, take care of your hygiene. Number two, before you walk into that dojo, please clip your fingernails, your toenails. Right? This should be under the next section, but it's so important and so often overlooked that it deserves a category on its own. Take care of your fingernails and toenails. There's nothing more embarrassing, aggravating, and annoying than when you're training with somebody and you get injured, not because they punch you in the face, but because they gash you with their toenail. And now you got a big bleeding spot on your ankle or your shin, and you're worried that you're going to get infected by something. Or if someone's grabbing your wrist, and you go for your wrist grab escape, and then they have some hangnail on the side of their thumb, or they have some jagged pinky fingernail, and when you go do your escape, that nail rake across your hand, and then now you got a big bleeding spot. By the way, when you start to bleed during training, you have to sit out. We do not let you continue to train when you are bleeding unless you can keep that under control and put a band-aid on or stuff like that. But generally speaking, when you start bleeding, we tell you to go home, sit out, because we don't want any kind of disease being passed around. No one wants to train when the person's bleeding all over the place. So having someone's fingernail or toenail gashing you 15 minutes into your paid lesson can be a big no-no. Right? It's very aggravating. So please, before you walk into the studio, check your fingernail, check your toenail to see if there's any jagged, ragged parts that need to be filed down or clipped. Number three, attitude. Before you walk into that dojo, before you step through that door, please do an inner monologue with yourself and check your attitude at the door. Your partner, they are not responsible for whatever traumatic experience that have happened to you as a child. Your partner, your instructor, and your partner, they are not responsible for something that went wrong at work or all the argument you are having at home. So coming into the studio, looking like everyone owe you $1,000, and then being snobbish or snappy with people, or when people do something that is a little bit off, a little bit wrong, or hurts a little bit too much, you suddenly go ballistic on them. It's not fair to your training partner. No one wants to train with someone who seems to be unstable emotionally. Okay? We had that in the studio before several times, where people come in, they seem like perfectly decent human beings, but the moment you start training with them, the moment you put a headlock on them, the moment you grab them, they suddenly turn to a different person. They start going crazy. They go turn to berserker, and they scream and they cuss at you, and they try to hurt you. Even when the trainer, there was one incident where the person was uh, going berserk, and the trainer came over to tell him, hey, it's okay, time out. The guy actually turned around and broke the trainer's nose, forcing the trainer to physically restraining him and take him out of the training. Right? Any problem like that is unpleasant. We all are here to learn. We all pay money to come here to learn. So please check any trauma, any problem, any attitude you have, any triggers you have at the door. When you walk through that door, you should be emotionally like a clean slate. Okay? You are welcome to go back to being PTSD or traumatized or whatever after class. But during class, it will not be fair to your training partners because they don't know what you have gone through, just like you don't know what they might have gone through. Number four, and this one's a big one, safety. I think, especially for young people, it is great. It is fun to fantasizing uh, training and sparring with a partner, like some kung fu movie or some video game, uh, ultimate battle in Dragon Ball Z or in Street Fighter, where you can face out against a partner, and then you punch, and then you uppercut, and then you hit him in the throat, and then you can kick him, and then you elbow him in the head, and then boom, go full force, and then slam him through two layers of wall, eh? Grab him up, slam him down into the ground, and then afterward, the person will get up and say, "Wow, wow, you're so good. Wow, that's crazy. You kicked my butt." And then you walk away. Okay? It's fun to fantasize that. In reality, it does not work that way. We all have to work next day. We all have a family to go back to. We don't want you to randomly break noses, break fingers, break legs. Okay? We're here to learn. We're here to have fun. We're here to get fit. We're not here to have to defend ourselves against a mad person 24 hours a day every time we train. So please remember your partner is letting you hit them. Letting is a key word. Your partner is letting you grabbing them and knee them in the chest. Your partner is letting you elbow them on the head, which means it is your responsibility to guarantee that they are safe, that they'll still be able to do it tomorrow and the next day and 10 years later. Okay? This is so important that I want to really emphasize on this because sometimes people get carried away. I get carried away. I have those moments when I just lose myself in the martial arts and I end up hurting people and feel really bad afterward. So I want to get it across to you guys that people, especially the partners, they are not your enemy. They're not here to kill you. So only give as much as they are giving you. If they hit you really hard, then sure, go and hit them really hard back. If they do something crazy to you, then you have two choices. You do something crazy back, or you communicate. Hey, look, that was not cool, right? Please don't do that again. That was really dangerous. If you do that again, I'm forced to have to do something really dangerous too. Okay? Please don't do that. That's the proper way to handle that. So when you train with a partner, think of them as your best friend because they got to be your best friend. They're your best friend, so they let you punch them in the face, right? They are so good. They're such good friends. They let you kick them in the groin, right? Take care of your best friend. This means do not hit them with the intention of demolishing their face. Okay? If you want to hit them in the face, a jab is fine. A cross is fine. But a power punch, full power punch, boom, that's not okay. Okay? That's just not okay. Also, what that means is when you're grappling, wrestling, and your partner do something really dangerous, such as, for example, if you got the armbar, if you got an armbar like this, right? If I grab the arm and I put my elbow over the elbow and I am putting pressure, don't jerk it, don't, okay? Don't go explosive, like that. You're gonna break their arm, okay? It's okay, you're training. Slow, steady pressure. Now, this is where it's very important. If your partner suddenly do something like twisting the wrong way, and you know that they're going to break their arm, let go, right? It's okay. It's okay. You know, I know it took a lot to catch them, get them in that position, and that's part of us. I worked so hard for the armbar. I don't want to let go. I want them to tap out, but it's not worth ruining their arm for it. If you think they're going to get hurt, let go. Right? If you and your partner are fighting and it's a very good fight, and then you suddenly find yourself, you finally get a hold of them, and you're just about to slam them to the ground, and you notice that the wall is right behind them, and the wall has a whole bunch of swords on it. Stop! Hey, 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 hey! Let's walk back to the center of the room. Let's restart. Right? Don't just do it. Right? You don't want to damage the wall. You don't want to damage your partner. It's not worth it. Keep their safety in mind. Next episode, well, next self-defense episode on Survival Saturday, we'll wrap this up and I'll tell you the remaining five golden rules. I was going to try to go through all nine today, but then this is getting a little bit long-winded and I don't want to rush through this because these are very, very important for your training, for the longevity of your training, for the safety of yourself, the safety of your partner. If you have run into situations before where you wonder, why is it no one want to train with me? Why is it no one like me in the studio? Go through what we talked about today. Have you always been a risk taker, especially with other people's body? Have you really taken care to take into consideration the safety of your partner? Have you always kept good hygiene? Do you keep your nails nice and trimmed? Or maybe sometimes you just have a bad day at work and you come into training like you're Mike Tyson coming out of his corner. And the first time you spar with your partner, you go boom, 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 boom. I know that feels great for you, but your partner didn't learn a single thing this day. Your partner just got hurt because they trusted you to not hurt them. They got hurt because they trusted you to not hurt them. And you let your attitude get ahead of yourself. Okay? So please keep these in mind, and we'll come back with Survival Saturday and finish the rest of the rules. If you enjoy what you get here on the daily videos, please do subscribe to the Johnny Tiger Experience podcast, which you can find on the Amazon Echo or any other podcasting platform by searching for Johnny Tiger Experience. We'll be back again tomorrow for Wisdom Wednesday. For now, have fun training and be nice to your partner.